He was going for that long ball towards the winger, but just too much on it. Again, most times they've lost possession. It's not really Odisha who are putting pressure on them. Well, if you're tennis, you would call it an unforced error.
It's a good run from Nandakumar. Eventually had to be brought down because he was gathering steam and pace.
Nanda there, again a positive run. He likes to take on players, going past a couple of them and then just pull down.
Pedro. Then his ball in is cleared with ease. Everything happened in the Blasters' half. Saul Crespo. That one's blocked as well.
A super block coming in from Roshan Gigi. Again he's down. But it's not looking good for him.
They've tried everything. They've tried to set him right, even if it is temporarily, to test out whether he can last. But unfortunately, he's been on the receiving end of a few tackles as well.
Yeah, this time you can see it's the follow through actually of Saul Crespo that just leaves him a bit winded. But that can be painful. Joseph Kambao there just looking at his notes, taking down a few notes as well. A few things he'll have to mention in the dressing room at halftime.
And a good example so far from the Blasters in terms of how important organization is. Talk about putting that into a youngster's mind at an early age. Making the right decisions, sticking to the position your head coach wants you to. 3 added minutes. Also growing in confidence. Kerala's players not fazed by the opposition and the names on the team sheet. Some on the bench that can come and change the game for them though. In fact, it almost seems like they've relished the challenge.
Well, they're looking so much better in this game compared to that first. Looking a lot more organized, especially without the ball. And he would be happy, Tomasz, the coach, with how they've done so far.
Azhar. Vipin. Ajsal. There's a run coming. Down his left, Ajsal went on his own. Could have chosen the reverse pass. Kerala Blasters still with possession. Ayman.
It should have been the reverse pass. Aritra with a beautiful run.
Floated into the box and there's a shot. Not memorable, but finally they've got something going.
Well, he never looked comfortable when the ball came to him. Aritra Das just getting the technique completely wrong. Wasn't sure whether he should go with his laces or side-footed. In the end, just doesn't get the right connection.
Shubham.
But Shubham needs to release that ball a lot quicker. He's taking too much time on it. Try to take one touch, 2 touches max. Then he's just holding on to it. And they're straight onto him. Ajsal and Gaurav both.
Dene. Just no way out. No, it's not highly entertaining football, Darren, but great credit to the Blasters. The number of bodies they get behind, how they converge on every green shirt. Nanda, once again, pushed back, forced back. And every time he looks up, that is a kind of ball that will be defended with ease. Isaac looking up, sends it into the box, and Sachin Suresh sends it out of it.
A great punch from Sachin Suresh, very commanding in that 6-yard box. Comes out convincingly.
A convincing half of organizational football from Kerala Blasters. Odisha, of course, to their credit, have tried everything to break them down, but haven't been able to beat the man, haven't been able to find enough space to cross it in. And when they have, Sachin Suresh has come to the rescue with one massive save.
Well, it's been a good half for both teams. Odisha FC would be disappointed if they haven't scored, but they haven't done enough. Haven't created enough. And Kerala Blasters, though, have defended really well. Their organization has been top-notch. You look at the chances there, some of it. It's the first half, though, 0-0 both sides.
जब हो हृदय परिवर्तन, रिटर्न इजीली। मीशो, डाउनलोड नाउ।
പറഞ്ഞോ
4 മണിക്കൂർ നമ്മ അവിടെ പോസ്റ്റാണ്. അത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് ഗുവാഹട്ടിയിലോട്ട് പറക്കണേ.
ഇത് പറ മഹാ അത്ഭുതം.
200 രൂപ ഒരാൾക്ക് തരാന്ന് പറഞ്ഞിട്ടുണ്ട്.
200 രൂപയ്ക്ക് എന്ത് കിട്ടും? ചോറ്, ചപ്പാത്തി, ഗായ്സ്. അങ്ങനെ 200 രൂപയ്ക്ക് നമുക്ക് ആവശ്യത്തിനധികം
130 രൂപ ഒരു വടാപ്പാവിന്. 200 രൂപക്ക് എന്ത് കിട്ടാനാ?
ലോസ്റ്റ് എമൗണ്ടിലേക്ക് പോവാം നമുക്ക്. ക്യാപ്റ്റൻ ഓഫ് ദ ഷിപ്പ്. എന്റെ മോനെ റിച്ച്. ഇവിടെ എന്തോ ഒരാൾക്കൂട്ടം. അടുത്ത ആള് ബുക്ക് ചെയ്തതാണ്. എന്താണ് സാധനം മോനെ?
എന്തായിരുന്നു കിക്കാറ്റോ?
പോയിണ്ട്. അപ്പൊ ഇപ്പൊ സാധനം വരും.
മറ്റേ വർക്കാണല്ലേ ആൾക്കാർ പെട്ടു.
ഒരെണ്ണം കൂടി വാങ്ങിക്കാം.
എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട് കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ?
കാര്യങ്ങളോ? കാര്യങ്ങള് നല്ല അടിപൊളിയാണ്.
സെറ്റല്ലേ?
ഇങ്ങനെ അങ്ങോട്ട് വ്യവസ്ഥയും കൂടെ
ഇനി അടുത്ത കളി
സൽമാൻ ബിഗ് ബോസിലല്ലേ ഇപ്പൊ? ബിഗ് ബോസിലാണെന്ന് തോന്നുന്നു.
ഇന്റർനാഷണൽ വിപിൻസ എന്തെങ്കിലും ഭയങ്കര ഒരു പറടാ എന്താ കാര്യങ്ങള്?
ഒന്നുമില്ല ബ്രോ, വെയിറ്റിംഗ്. നമ്മളിപ്പോ റോക്കിന്റെ സാമ്രാജ്യത്തിലാണ്.
ഓക്കെ,
മുംബൈയിലാണ് ഇപ്പൊ നമ്മള്. ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് നമ്മളിപ്പോ പുറപ്പെടുന്നതാണ്.
പുതിയ ആളെ പിടിച്ചേക്ക് ഫോൺ. നമ്മളിപ്പോ മുംബൈയിലാണ്. മുംബൈയിൽ ഇറങ്ങിയിട്ട് ഇപ്പോൾ കുറച്ച് നേരമായി. 4 മണിക്ക് ഇറങ്ങി. അപ്പോൾ അതേ ഫ്ലൈറ്റ്, നെക്സ്റ്റ് ഫ്ലൈറ്റിന് വേണ്ടി വെയിറ്റ് ചെയ്യാണ്. 7 മണിക്കാണ്. അതുവരെ ഇട്ടേക്ക് വെറുതെ ഇരിക്കുക. വെറുതെ എല്ലാവരും ഫോണിൽ കളിച്ചിരിക്കുക. വേറെ പരിപാടിയൊന്നുമില്ല.
ഞങ്ങളിപ്പോൾ ചായ കുടിക്കാൻ പോയതാണ്. വാങ്ങിയല്ലോ
ബ്രോ.
നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ എന്തെടുക്കാൻ പോകുന്ന ഹൈഡ് ആൻഡ് സീക്ക്. അല്ല, ഹൈഡ് ആൻഡ് സീക്ക്. എന്തെങ്കിലൊക്കെ ഒന്ന് ഉറപ്പിക്കും. ഏതാ നമ്പർ? 140. പൊട്ടിച്ച സാധനം വെച്ചിട്ട് പുതിയ സാധനം എടുക്കുന്ന റോഷൻ. നാരിയൽപ്പാനി ഉപയോഗിക്കും ഫ്രണ്ട്സ്. എന്താണെന്ന്? നീ ആദ്യമായിട്ടാണോ?
ഞാനും ആദ്യമായിട്ടാ.
ഞാനും ആദ്യമായിട്ടാ.
ഞാൻ ഇന്ന് നോർത്ത് ഈസ്റ്റ് ഭാഗത്ത് ആദ്യമായിട്ട്.
ബംഗാൾ ഉൾക്കടൽ.
ഇസ്മായിൽ
എടാ, ഇവിടെ പോസ്റ്റ് ചെയ്താൽ നല്ലതായിരിക്കും. എടാ കമോണ്ട്രാ. എടാ നീ അന്ന മുറിശിക്ക് നിക്ക്. അതിന്റെ അകത്ത് കയറിയിരിക്കാൻ പറ്റോ? ഞാൻ വിചാരിച്ച് വന്ന് ഇറങ്ങുന്നതാണ് ജാക്കറ്റ് ഒക്കെ എടുത്തിടണോന്ന്.
attacking midfield. Yellow buzzing shirts. Odisha trying everything, but forced back again and again. And that is a kind of an interesting situation right now.
You know why I like this game, Pulas, is we haven't had goals so far. We haven't had a lot of chances, but it's been a great tactical battle. If you look at the way they've set up Kerala Blasters defensively, they've been very solid, very compact. They're forcing Odisha FC to try and do something on the wings, and that's where they've got most of their luck, Odisha, from when they've got those crosses in. It's just Kerala Blasters need to do better in the final third. That's where they're struggling when they get the ball forward. They have some inexperience that shows. But they need to try and get the ball probably to someone like a Mohammad Ayman, Adsal, who's got that pace. Try and use him, make him run. Because so far it's been easy for the defense of Odisha FC.
Changes coming up. Ruathara is one of them. Diego Maurizio also coming onto the pitch. So Gambao just letting the opposition know that we won this.
Yeah, he needs the goals, which is why you get a man like Diego Mauricio on. Can score a lot of goals, did score as well in the last game. And the other player, Ruatara, who's got a lot of experience, played for Kerala Blasters as well, was the emerging player in the ISL one season.
Off we go then, the second 45. Odisha already with 3 points on the board with that massive victory against Northeast United. Not finding it that easy this afternoon. Wonder if that is Roshan once more. It's gone down 3 times in the first 45.
Well, it looks like Mohammad Azhar.
It is Azhar.
Yep. It's a heavy challenge coming in from Toiba. Just clatters into Azhar, but he's back up on his feet. Well, Odisha doing exactly what Kerala Blasters were doing in the middle of the park, closing down the players very quickly, not giving them any time on the ball.
Roshan, in fact, has come off, as you can look on the substitution up there. Jasim is the player who's come on. And thankfully, Azhar also ready to come back from that challenge on him.
Yeah, Roshan, Gigi did try a couple of times to come back on the pitch, but there was something certainly troubling him. You know, as a young player, sometimes you do want to come off. When you get these slight niggles, you want to stay on the pitch. You don't recognize these injuries. You feel like it's something you could probably play on with. But with age comes a little more experience. You understand these slight niggles. You don't want to push it. Something that you probably miss a couple of days off. If you try and push those injuries and continue playing, you could miss a couple of weeks.
Delgado. Diagonals have also died down. Only a couple of times we've seen him find Jerry, but those have been the occasions when Odisha have really threatened.
Ebin Das with that block there.
Jasim. It'll be good to see some moments from Kerala as well in the final third. If they can stitch up a few passes, create something. Just that one half chance in the dying minutes of the first half.
Well, they really haven't threatened the Odisha FC backline. We haven't seen Dylan get any sort of touch on the ball either. It's been a very quiet game for him. probably be happy he hasn't conceded so far, but as somebody doesn't get a lot of game time, you want to get involved in the game.
Soiba switching it well. Nandakumar.
That's poor from Nanda. Cuts back on his right. A simple pass to Ruatara. Ruatara just encouraging him. And that's good to see. Ruatara, more experienced campaigner.
Soiba gets it back from Shubham. Delgado almost getting caught out. More of a press now from the Blasters, more urgent.
Yeah, better from Kerala Blasters. Especially when players like Saul Crespo are on the ball.
Shubham Sarangi. Crespo's available in the middle of the park. Tried to bypass him and the Blasters win it back with ease. Very impressed with the way Vipin has played for Kerala Blasters, wearing the number 8 shirt.
He's done well in the middle of the park, but that's been the problem for Kerala Blasters. As soon as they win the football, they just don't have any sort of idea. They can't figure how they play out from the back.
Diego Maurizio easily passed the first challenge. Maurizio sets it up, and the difference maker. A trump card on the bench for Gambao, and he had to play it early this afternoon, but played it to very good effect.
And that's why he's brought on Diego Mauricio. Just puts that on a platter for Isaac, who had an opportunity in the first half. We can look at that, just going past Marwan, showing all that body strength. And it's a clever cutback. Isaac knows exactly where the ball's coming. Bassett's not aware of Isaac making that run ahead of him. And he's never missing from that distance.
And we spoke about how everyone wants to see Isaac get among the goals more often, make those late runs into the box. That's an example.
That's a good goal. Because that's clever movement from both Diego Mauricio as well as Isaac. All the players expecting a cross to come in, but it's a clever cutback.
Just too strong and too fast, Diego Maurizio.
Well, this is going to open up the game a lot more because now Kerala Blasters need to chase. They're a goal down.
Azhar. Ayman. Can't keep it in. Jasim was chasing.
That's been the tactic for Kerala Blasters. Where they try and sit back. If they win the ball, at times they try to play out from the back, which they've not been successful at, or they try and use the pace of that man there, Gaurav, or Mohammad Ayman on the wings.
It's a good steal, and now this could really open up in a very poor pass. Tried to be fancy with the outside of his boot.
Just use your left foot. It's a brilliant opportunity for Toiba to just play that pass to Jerry on the right side. But gets that technique horribly wrong.
Very wasteful. Maybe you can try that at 4-0 or 5-0. Some coaches will tell you even not when you're 4-0 or 5-0. Certainly, though, with a narrow lead, and the team has just conceded when the other side is there for the taking. Keep it simple.
Well, that's what Shubham does now. Gets the ball, passes it back to Narendra. Just keep possession.
Bit of a blow for Kerala Blasters, who had very good 50-odd minutes. I think one of the orders must have been to not concede early at the start of the second half.
Yeah, they would be disappointed with conceding that goal. They've been so solid defensively, Kerala Blasters. Slight lapse in concentration when Diego Mauricio makes that run in behind them. And then nobody really catching the run of Isaac. Well, when I say nobody, but that's got to be Basit because he's closest to him, closest to the ball as well.
Delgado. Foiba.
He's looking for the run of Jerry. I mean, you know how quick Jerry can be, but he's never reaching that ball.
Keep the ball is the call from the touchline. Ruathara. Isaac. Didn't take a touch. Is what the linesman thinks.
The Kerala Blasters need to show some sort of urgency right now. There's still ample of time in this game, but you don't want to leave it too late. You know, they've got a couple of players that can come on as well. Shubha Ghosh, who we saw in the first game, came on late. He's somebody who's a good striker, good young striker. Has scored a lot of goals at the youth level.
A free kick given. Easy game to referee so far. Nothing too dramatic. But if it stays like this, then Odisha become favourites to come out of this group, which was always the case, but you've got to win the games, live up to expectations.
A fancy for Mohammad Ayman there.
Ebindas. Nice long ball. The keeper's missed it completely, but then it's gone out of play.
Well, good ball coming in. Not bad at all. And this is where they can hurt them, that pace. This time of Gaurav. But Dylan coming out and gets it completely wrong. Misjudges the ball. And fortunately for him, it runs out of play. But that's what we're talking about. He hasn't had a lot to do in this game. And then when you're called into action, you have to make the right decision.
The mandate for Odisha would be to safeguard this result, score a couple more. Entirely possible. Kerala Blasters are pushing forward with more bodies. That means there will be gaps at the back.
Yeah, you always want to get that second goal, that cushion. Because you're only just 1-0 up.
Foiba. I wonder what's happened to his radar.
Yeah, he's given the ball away a couple of times now. He's always going for that final pass. And as a player, you've tried that once, tried that twice, 3 times, you get that wrong. I'll be surprised if he tries that again. Next part should be simple. Just get it right.
This could be a problem. Delgado just sliding in.
Lucky for Delgado, a heavy touch, and Gaurav is straight on it.
Better teams might make Odisha pay a bit more for that kind of loss of focus. They'll be looking at the videos, they'll be going back and analysing where they can do better. Nandakumar, meanwhile, falls to Isaac. He's got a good right foot on him, takes it onto his left. Then needs support. That was a cracking challenge. Probably would have been a foul if Odisha wouldn't have kept possession.
Well, the referee could have awarded a free kick, but the right decision. He plays on, gives the advantage to Odisha. And that's the first contribution from Ruatara. A beautiful ball coming in with his left foot to find Diego Mauricio, and he has to be hitting the target from there. In fact, he should be scoring that one, Diego Mauricio. It's an easy header. It's not really marked. Just has to guide that towards goal, but gets too much on it.
Nandakumar. Diego in support. Nandakumar on his own and hits Diego in his back. Cherry on the loose ball. Shubham first time delivery towards Diego Maurizio. Can't keep that header down.
Again, the opportunities are coming for Odisha, and they are falling to that man, Diego Mauricio. We got a glimpse of a couple of players on the touchline, ready to come in for Odisha.
Nandakumar in some space. Can't get past that challenge. Offside anyway.
Yeah, that's something Nanda does a little too often, in my opinion. Where he gets the ball on his left, he always wants to take it back on his right. I prefer him sometimes just trying to whip it with his left foot. This time, the assistant referee raised the flag, but he's been in that position a couple of times where he's had it on his left foot.
Just a cut on his knee. Ayman might have to be cleaned up.
Works tirelessly for the side, Mohammad Ayman. He's an attacking player, but you always see him dropping into defense to help pass it out.
Oh, great touch. Fantastic stuff from Jasim. If only that was a more central part of the pitch, and he would have been through on goal. Would have been one of the highlights in terms of chances created.
That's beautiful there from Jasim. But once he does that move, he doesn't have anywhere to go. You know, with a move like that, you want to take the ball, continue taking on players, run towards goal. But he's looking for options, looking for his teammates.
Flurry of changes.
Wake up, my friend, wake up.
The goal scorer coming off. And we're going to get our first glimpse of that man, Osama Malik. The Australian player. He's got 200 plus appearances in the A-League. That's a lot of experience coming into this Odisha FC side.
Akshana Tyagi also comes on. So does Isak. Cherry.
can straight away see from that change. Saul Crespo moving a lot more forward. Osama Malik wearing the number 6 jersey and also playing in that position. He's probably going to sit in front of the defense, which allows Saul Crespo to join into the attack.
Over the top from the Blasters. The lead is still just 1-0 for Odisha.
Again, Dylan coming off his line. I don't think Narendra Gehlot was too happy about that, but comes out and gets the ball first, which is important. But they have to be careful. And I think this sort of football is working for them. Those balls in behind the defense.
Nice little dink. There's Vibin.
Oh, well done. Sometimes you forget how young these boys are when they show that sort of composure on the football.
Well done, Kerala Blasters. Quick press in that final third. Aritra looks up in the box. Delgado was there.
He was just aiming for one man. Not easy, but Delgado just clearing that with his head.
Isak with an adventurous run forward.
And Mohammad Azhar chasing him on. Wasn't happy with the assistant referee awarding the throw in against him. Felt like there was a touch off Isak. That would surely been a foul throw.
Goal kick.
Good closing down again from Mohammad Ayman. We are talking about the hard work he does defensively. We can have a look at this again. It does look like it comes off Azhar, his toe. But he does well to not allow Isak go past him.
Ruathara.
And we've got a confirmation. Mohammad Azhar gets booked for that. A little harsh in my opinion.
Oh, nice touch again. Vibin has this wonderful ability to squeeze past. Does very well in tight areas.
Technically so good, Pulas. Such a joy to watch Vibin.
Aritra. Ebindas. Just stolen in a very dangerous part of the pitch. Diego Maurizio has released Akshana Tyagi. Akshana Tyagi, who scored a remarkable 20 goals in 14 Elite League matches.
Well, that's quite the record for Akshana Tyagi.
Mentored by one of the most dangerous left foots in Indian football, in Joe Polancheri.
What a player he was. Joe Polancheri played alongside the likes of a few more legends, I.M. Vijayan, Carlton Chapman, for club and country. It's been an easy day in the office for Delgado. Had so much time on the ball.
That must have hurt. 50-50 challenge, of course. Ayman is saying, "You're kicking me, Ruathara."
Yeah, you can see Ruathara knows what exactly he's doing there. He just leaves his foot, and that can be dangerous and painful at the same time.
He has a bit of a streak about himself, Ruathara.
But he's got the tendency to do that, Ruathara, at times. He's taken a few bookings, red cards as well. But he doesn't really need to put in those challenges. Tries to be a little naughty at times.
Ayman. Saul Crespo wins it. Plays it short. Kambao just reminding his players that they cannot sit on a one-goal lead. They've got to be more accurate. Can't be some loose passes here and there.
Yeah, because this Kerala Blasters side in the last 5 minutes especially are looking good. They're looking decent when they do have the ball now.
Diego Maurizio can't take it into his stride. It was a difficult ball anyway.
Again, just patient build up from Odisha. The captain Delgado on the ball, plays it out to Ruathara.
Jerry. Malik. Delgado. Jerry. Akshana. Now Diego Maurizio gets the shot away. Straight to Marwan. Moved on by Jasim.
With so many yellow bodies in and around that box, but somehow Odisha FC just get the ball. First to Akshana Tyagi, later falls to Diego Maurizio again. That compactness that we saw in the first half from Kerala Blasters, we're not seeing exactly the same again. Probably tired legs.
Isak. A couple of shirts waiting inside the box. Couldn't pick one out. Now Ruathara. Saul Crespo. Saul Crespo for Diego Maurizio. Angle is narrow. Just forced away from goal.
A super challenge coming in. What a block in the end from Tejas. Again, it's just all too easy. This ball gets to Diego Maurizio, decides to take it on his left, but look at that, fully stretched. Gets a brilliant block in.
Very committed from Tejas. More defending to do. There's the corner. Almost slipped in, and Osama Malik's header eventually fell to Saul Crespo, who just had the task of tapping it in. And Odisha now have a cushion. 2-0.
Just poor defending from Kerala Blasters. They don't clear the ball the first time there. Decent ball coming in. Isak gets the flick. That clearance from Ayman is not good enough. But it falls to Osama Malik. He heads it onto one of the Kerala Blasters players. Their deflection on Marwan. But when that falls to Saul Crespo, from that distance, he's never missing it. Nobody's marking him. But it's all about that first phase and that second phase. That's why Odisha FC do a lot more better. First with Isak winning the header. Next, they don't clear their lines, Kerala Blasters. The header falls to Osama Malik. And then Saul Crespo easily finishing that one. They'll be very disappointed, Kerala Blasters. Because just when you thought the last 5-10 minutes they were getting back in the game, putting some sort of pressure on Odisha, they've conceded a second. And now Odisha FC have that cushion.
There are more opportunities coming up for the Blasters as well. As this tournament progresses, they've got Northeast United on Saturday, the 27th of August. That'll be a good game, more evenly matched.
Yeah, it's going to be a very even battle. Both very young sides. Northeast United did get their first goal of the tournament. And I'm sure that's going to help them in terms of confidence. Kerala Blasters as well, we can see a much better performance. Yes, they're losing 2-0, but it's a much better performance from their first game to now.
Odisha's next challenge is 6 days later on the 29th against Sudeva.
So they've got a decent gap, I would say, from this game to that. The next one on the 29th. Can probably get enough of rest, a few recovery sessions in.
It is a decently spaced out schedule. Their last group fixture is on the 4th of September against Army Green.
Yeah, it's important to have a couple of days in between the games. You know, when you're playing in these sort of conditions, when it's hot, it's humid, it really takes and sucks a lot of energy out of you.
Ruathara over the top, looking for Diego Maurizio. He was penalized for a push. Adil Ashraf has come on at right back for the Blasters.
And we hear that Mohammad Ayman is out. Somebody who's an attacking player but did a lot of defensive work in this game. I won't say it's a like-for-like change.
It's a good ball for Ashraf. Ran it out of play.
Oh, his eyes probably lit up as soon as he got that ball. And that amount of space, that first touch is letting him down.
Long ball forward into the path of Jerry. Jerry's cross. Malik. Just about controlling and maintaining this lead for Odisha now. Job is done. Ruathara over Diego Maurizio, collected by Isak. Floated back into the box. Blasters somehow clear their lines.
Yeah, there was a slight touch of Tejas. And then that ball came on to Akshana Tyagi. Wasn't expecting that touch. But good work from Isak.
Flag is up against Diego Maurizio.
A strange one, that. I'd love to see the replay on it. Yeah, he's not happy about the decision, Diego Maurizio. A little bit surprised. But yeah, you can see he's just half a yard offside. The right decision in the end from the assistant referee. Well spotted.
Just leaning. When you lean like that, such a natural movement for a striker. But these days, with how detailed these decisions can get, of course, over here, The detail restricted to the assistant's eye, and he got it right. Just wondering how all these patterns have affected the movement of players also on the pitch over the last few years. And that also involves keeping your hands behind when you're blocking the ball or you're going up for it. Body physics being discussed in terms of and in relation with the laws of the game.
There's so many changes we've seen in modern football right now. When we talk about hands behind your back, your hands should not be in an unnatural position when the ball strikes it, or else you have referees straight away calling for a penalty.
Basit. Azhar. And Aritra.
See, Aritra had his head up, wanted to play that ball to someone forward.
Just trying to slip in that pass. Osama Malik does well to see that run and cut it out.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times with Osama Malik. He's always following his runner, and that's a quality of a good player. Every time there's a midfield runner making that run in behind the defense, he's always following to make sure if he does get the ball that he's in around him.
That's a good ball in. Very inviting. Blasters not having enough bodies in the box though to attack that.
But a beautiful ball that comes in. But there's just one man attacking the ball. Gaurav, who's on it right now.
Azhar. Another floated ball into the box once again. Only Jasim chasing.
Was looking for that run of Jasim. Again, too much weight on the ball.
Dylan De Silva untroubled.
It's been very comfortable for him. Dylan De Silva, not just him, the defenders as well. Delgado, Narendra Gelo on the ball. Nobody trying to put any sort of pressure on them.
Ruathara. Shubham Sarangi. Jerry.
The Kerala Blasters need to push up. They're sitting too deep. It's just too easy for Odisha right now.
Shubham. I thought he would line one up. Thought he would do it a couple of seconds earlier.
Yeah, he had an option to play that out wide to Isak. But goes for a shot from distance. Not troubling the keeper. Again, that's just poor from Kerala Blasters. They finally won the football after a while through that goal kick, but then they've just given it back to Odisha again.
I think with the youngsters, of course, the thought creeps into your mind that we are not getting back into this. And that kind of affects your concentration, affects the quality of passing. But of course, as young professionals, you learn and you teach yourself to keep going until the very end.
You can see that foul on Vipin from Saul Crespo, just a push in the back. But yeah, in moments like these, you need the leaders in the team to step up, to try and push this team forward. Now we've seen someone like a Sachin Suresh, who's always constantly talking to his players, giving them instructions. You need those sort of players, the ones who are slightly more experienced, to talk to the younger ones.
Diego Maurizio. Still Maurizio. Akshuna Tyagi. Maurizio continues with his run. Can't poke it past Sachin Suresh, who got down in time once again.
But what a run from Diego Maurizio. Just didn't stop running. And this is a great pass coming in again from Akshana Tyagi. Finds Maurizio. You can see he's trying to take it back on his right. Little lucky that it falls to him. But Sachin Suresh comes forward off his line and makes that save. Good goalkeeping.
Jerry towards the far post. Now the Blasters, can they break forward? Jassim looks up and plays that diagonal, but there's nobody.
And that's just poor from Jassim. Does so well when he receives that ball further on. But just letting himself and the team down with that pass. Look from that earlier clearance from the corner. Marwan, who made that header, just holding on to his calf right after that. Again, it's probably cramps. The players hydrating. It is a hot day. Especially for the foreign players, the new foreign players who come in. He's somebody who likes to keep it simple. That's what I like about him. Nothing fancy. Not too many tricks and flicks. Just tries winning the football in the middle of the park and then looks for that easy pass.
Now, one part of Gambao's mind also on the combination in terms of the split between foreigners and Indians in a starting 11. How to manage that? Which player slots in where? Also the fact that you need some depth. One injury cannot derail a season.
Well, you talk about depth, Pulas, and you look at this Odisha side, they do have a lot of depth. Looks like one of the strongest squads we've seen of theirs in the recent past.
Azhar. Chance for a cross now for Kerala Blasters. Went for the shot instead. Easily won back by Saul Crespo. Isak. Jerry. In complete control now as this game goes towards its end. 6 points on the board will be a good number for Odisha. They'll be confident of coming out of it and making it into the last 8.
Yeah, they're just seeing this one out now, Odisha. Kerala Blasters just looks like they've just given up. There's no fight, nobody's pressing, nobody wants to win that football back.
Vibin was fouled.
He's such a good player, Vibin, in the middle of the park, Pulas. He puts in those challenges as well, but he's technically so good. We've seen him on the football. Now seems phased. Keeps it on the floor. Looks for that pass.
Yeah, I wouldn't be totally surprised if he was very quickly invited to train with the first team. Few of these boys, in fact. I think the structure that they've got in place now, the Blasters, is much more streamlined in terms of how players move from one part of the entire setup to the other, and eventually into the senior team and into the mind of Vukomanovic.
It's a great business model as well. You want to work on grooming those younger players. You don't always want to go out there as a club and buy the stars. You want to groom homegrown talent, get them up to speed at this level, the top level that is.
Azhar sets himself up for a short curling effort. He's not too far away.
Finally, we see Akshay, the goalkeeper Dylan, and he's trying to make a save. Well, this is a long way out, but as soon as he gets that ball, Mohammad Azhar, he's going for it. Osama Malik a little too slow to close him down. But in the end, it's not hitting the target, not troubling the keeper. And that's been the problem for Kerala Blasters. They haven't tested the keeper enough.
And into 4 minutes of added time, one of which is nearly done. Just a stroll now for Odisha. Let's see, even there, kind of switched off from this. Job done, mission accomplished.
Yeah, that looks like probably the first missed pass from the captain, Carlos Delgado.
Azhar, Bibin, and Ashraf. Azhar trying to turn his man.
He chooses the wrong option. He had his teammate making a run on the outside. Should be going for him. Look to attack the space always when you have that opportunity.
Maybe if they could have played these diagonals early, some more meaningful football in the first half, Kerala Blasters. There were moments when they could have troubled Dylan De Silva. Just didn't create enough. Focused on organisation. Meanwhile, Diego Maurizio has been stopped in his tracks by Sachin Suresh.
That's super goalkeeping from Sachin. Straight away off his lines, he's aware, he knows the danger when that ball's played forward. And he gets forced to it. Now we have a look at that again. Look at that, gets that spot on absolutely right. He knows that if he's a second late, there would have been a sending off.
Final changes. Alkesh coming on. Gaurav goes off.
Getting his first minutes in the Durand Cup, Alkesh.
Shubham. Isak. Akshana Tyagi on the turn with a shot off the woodwork. Well done from the youngster.
Yeah, that was brilliant. I mean, you just look at what he's done just now. By hitting the post, and you spoke about him scoring 20 goals in 14 games. But that says a lot. Looks like a proper striker.
Has the physique as well. So time's up, and Odisha have now got 6 points out of 6. Scoring 8 goals in the process, 6 against Northeast United. A couple this afternoon against a young Kerala Blasters side, playing with all their might, and the Juggernauts continue to roll forward.
It's been a comfortable game again for Odisha FC. Not as easy as the first one, but you had moments. Kerala Blasters, they defended well. But again, just a little bit of quality that comes from this Odisha FC side, and a lapse in concentration from Kerala Blasters in the end. Odisha sitting pretty at the top with 6 points from 2 games, and the stats say it all. A dominant performance from Odisha, and they win 2-0.
Of course, not the only action today. Up next are Bengaluru Stars against Indian Air Force. That is kicking off at 6 p.m.